Good morning. Today we're going to solve radical equations, and we're going to have two forms. We're actually going to have a radical equation as well as equations that have a fractional exponent or a rational exponent. We're also going to be identifying extraneous solutions. There are solutions that sometimes appears when you raise an equation to the same power on both sides. We're going to have an extra solution that's not correct. But let's go and start with example number one. On example number one, we need to be able to solve the following equations. So we have two sides. I want to be able to leave the x by itself. Before I can do that, I want to be able to get rid of the square root. So the inverse of the square root will be the square. So we're going to square both sides. That will give me 5x minus 9 is equal to 11 squared will be 11 times 11, which is 121. And now we can solve the equation. I can move the 9 to the right hand side, becomes a positive 9. This is 5x is equal to 130. Then I'm going to divide by 5. Divide by 5. That will cancel. And 130 divided by 5. So let's do on the side, 130 divided by 5. 5 goes into 13 twice, 10, bring down the 3, 6. So it'll be 26. X is equal to 26. So it's an easy process. On letter B, I'm going to go through the same process. I want to be able to draw the line. I'm going to move my number to the right hand side, becomes a negative 1. Got 2. X minus 3 is equal to negative 4. Now I want to be able to leave the root by itself, the radical by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2 to cancel it. We have x minus 3 is equal to negative 2. And now I can get rid of the radical or the root of 3 by taking the cube on both sides. This will cancel. I have x minus 3 is equal to negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. And the last step, I'm going to move my 3 to the right, becomes a positive 3. Or just add 3 on both sides if you want. So I'll be giving me negative 5. Ideally, you want to be able to double check your answers, plug it in. And we're going to be doing that on example number 3. On example number 2, we notice that we have rational exponents. We have fractions as exponents. We're going to go through the same process. The most logical step will be to move the 9 to the right hand side, becomes a positive 9. I have x minus 4 to the 2/3 is equal to 25. Now I want to be able to cancel the exponent or just make it a 1. I want to make the exponent a 1. In order to do so, we're going to be doing the same thing as when we solve equations that have fractions. We're going to raise it to the reciprocal. So instead of 2 over 3, it will be 3 over 2 on both sides. So it will be 3 over 2. Because that will cancel, the 2's cancel, the 3's cancel, so the exponent is 1. Or we can just say that it cancels. X minus 4 is equal to, I'm going to rewrite this as a radical expression. 25 goes inside, the root is the denominator, and then we have it raised to the 3rd power. 25, the square root of 25 will be 5, and then raised to the 3rd power will be 125. Last, I'm going to move my 4 to the right, becomes a positive 4. We have x is equal to 129. If you plug it in, it should get exactly, it should get true statement. So go and try letter B. Go and pause it, try letter B, see what you get, and then we can compare our answers. Go and pause it. Great. So for letter B, I'm going to draw the line, go through the same process, move my 5 to the right, becomes a negative 5. That'll give me negative 2, x minus 4, 3 halves is equal to 16. I can divide by negative 2 on both sides. Remember, you cannot distribute the negative 2 because of the exponent. Same thing that we have covered before. We have x minus 4 is equal to negative 8. And let's not forget about the 3 halves. Now I want to be able to cancel the exponent. So I'm going to raise this to the reciprocal. So it'll be 2 over 3. 2 over 3. That will cancel each other out. It actually gives you 1. But if there's a 1, we don't write it down. So we just have x minus 4. I'm going to rewrite this as a radical expression. The 3 is the denominator. And this will be raised to the power of 2. This is cube root of negative 8. The cube root of negative 8 will be negative 2 because negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And then to the second power, which is equal to 4. We have x minus 4 is equal to 4. I'm going to go and move my 4 to the right hand side because it's a positive 4. X is equal to 8. Ideally, you want to be able to plug in your answer and it should give you a true statement. But we're going to be doing that on example number 3. On example number 3, we're starting to have variables on both sides. And this is the one when, especially when we have x squared, is when we're going to have extraneous solutions. And the instructions, I'm going to be asking you guys to be able to check for extraneous solutions on some of the problems. So just make sure that you check each of your solutions when that is asked on the instructions. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the square root first. I'm going to take the square root on both sides. The square and the square root cancel. I have x minus 6 is equal to x minus 8 squared. Some of you guys are going to want to simplify this as x squared minus 64, which is not correct. This should be written twice, just like we covered before. X minus 8, x minus 8. Therefore, we have x minus 6. We're going to FOIL this out. So distribute the x to each one of them. Gives me x squared minus 8x. Distribute the negative 8 to each one of them. Negative 8x plus 64. I'm going to combine like terms. That'll give me x minus 6 is equal to x squared minus 16x plus 64. Now that I simplify this on both sides, I notice that I have an x squared. Every time that you have an x squared, you want to be able to make it equal to 0, or most of the time. And see if you can factor it. You can complete the square. You can do it by square roots, or you can use the quadratic formula. Any of those 4 ways will work. I'm going to go ahead and move my x to the right hand side and my 6 to the right hand side as well to make it equal to 0. Just because the x squared is on this side, I don't want to move everything to the left because I want to keep my x squared positive, if possible. X squared, I'll bring it next down, so it'll be negative 17x. I brought plus 6, so it gives me plus 70. Now, I believe I can factor this out. So I'm going to do double parenthesis. Factors of x squared are x and x. Factors of 70, I need to get negative 17. So it'll be 10 and 7, and they both have to be negative. I'm going to do my t-chart to solve. Remember that you always have to double check, does this work? If I multiply x, that gives me negative 7, minus 10 is negative 17. X minus 10 equal to 0, x minus 7 equal to 0. You're using your zero product property to solve. I'm going to move my 10 to the right hand side and my 7 to the right hand side. That will give me x is equal to 10. Move my 7 to the right hand side because x is equal to 7. Now, you need to be able to check for extraneous solutions, so you want to be able to make sure that both solution works. It's a very quick process. Let's go and check. Square root. Instead of the x, I'm going to first check the 10. 10 minus 6 is equal to, instead of the x will be 10 minus 2. So that will give me this. The square root of 4 is equal to, and that minus it. Square root of 4 is equal to 2. Correct. Let's go and check that. So that one's fine. Let's go ahead and check the 7. Will be the square root of 7 minus 6 is equal to x minus 8. So it'll be 7 minus 8. Is the square root of 7 minus 6 is 1? Is it equal to negative 1? No. So if you guys notice, we only have one solution. The solution is x is equal to 10. Let's go and work on the back side. We have an equation. Go and see if you guys can work it by yourself. Go and pause it. Try working out by yourself. It's the same process as example number 3. And then we can work it out together. Go and pause it. Great. So I'm going to go and draw the line. Now that I have the square root isolated on the left hand side, I can take the square on both sides. The square and the square root cancel. So I have 10x plus 9 is equal to, x plus 3 needs to be written twice. Now I have 10x plus 9 is equal to, fold this out, so x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. 10x plus 9 is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now I'm going to, I notice I have an x squared, and I'm going to move everything to the right hand side, and hopefully I can factor. Otherwise, maybe we can complete the square or the quadratic formula. So let's go move everything, then we can decide. 0 on the left, nothing left. X squared. Now negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4x. And 9 minus 9 is 0. I want to be able to factor this out. So what can I take out? I can take out an x. What's left? X minus 4. X times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. I'm going to do my t-chart, my zero product property. I'm going to place my x equal to 0 and my x minus 4 equal to 0. So this is already solved. I'm going to move my 4 to the right, becomes a positive. My other solution will be x is equal to 4. You want to double check to make sure that they're correct. Let's go and check. I'm going to plug in a 0 first. So with the square root of 10 multiplied by 0 plus 9 is equal to 0 plus 3. I'll plug in a 0. This is 0 plus 9 is the square root of 9 is equal to 3. Yes. I'm going to plug in a 4. The square root of 10 times 4 plus 9 is equal to 4 plus 3. Plug in a 4 in here and plug in a 4 in here. That gives me 40 plus 9 is the square root of 49 is equal to 7. Correct. So in this case, both of them are solution. So this will conclude the lesson for today. Thanks for taking your time to listen to the lesson, and have a great day. Email me if you have any questions.